Hey, Charles here with Rocky Mountain, and today I'm going to show you how to rebuild WP Pro Component cone valve forks. Now, if you're not sure if you have these or not, these are the forks that have the billet aluminum lugs and the removable seal holder. If you have a different style of WP fork, we've got other videos that cover fork seal replacement and the rebuild. So go check those out. But if you do have these ones right here, these are the 48s, and you can see it's time for us to replace the seals. They're leaking everywhere. But be aware there are 43 and 50 millimeter versions out there as well. So whatever forks you are working on, make sure you reference any information that came with your fork. Now, with that being said, this video is going to be all about replacing the fork seals and getting the oil in that inner cartridge changed out. If you need to know how to disassemble the inner cartridge and replace individual components, whether it's the cone valve or springs inside of there, we do have a separate video for that, and it's going to be linked in the description below. All that being said, let's go ahead and get started. For parts, we have 2 bottles of 5-weight fork oil. We also have these 48 millimeter fork seals. So these are the SKF dual compound, but we've got a lot of different options on our website. You can get the seals with or without the bushings as well. So pay attention to that stuff, but if you have a lot of hours on your forks, I would definitely recommend replacing these at the same time. So if you need any parts for your bike, go ahead and click the link in the description below. To get this done, we're gonna need some common hand tools. So I've got some flat blade screwdrivers. I've got a Racetech clip pick tool. I also have a few special tools. So these are mostly gonna be for the fork cap and seal holder. So I've got the fork cap tool. This one's for the preload. And then we've got a 3-prong tool, and that's gonna help us change out that inner cartridge oil. I also have a seal holder wrench. This also has the damping cartridge holder on the end. This is gonna be 12 millimeters in diameter. So just in case you go on our website, we've got a few different options for these tools. You wanna be aware of that. This is the 35 millimeter size, and this is 50 millimeter size. Other than that, as far as the common hand tools, we've got a 19 millimeter socket, 17 millimeter combo wrench, a pick. I'm using a tire iron. If you do have scratches on your fork tubes like us, you can use some 600 grit sandpaper or some Scotch-Brite to help get those out. Now, we also want to make sure we get everything torqued on reassembly. So we've got our torque wrench. I've got seal grease. You can use some thread locker. I'm not going to be using that today, but always reference your model specific service manual. I also have a measuring cup contact cleaner. I've got a heat gun, seal driver. This is the 48 millimeter size along with a 48 millimeter seal bullet. Then of course, rags, safety glasses, and some rubber gloves. In addition to what we have on the bench, we're also going to be using some suspension soft jaws in our vise. Now, if you need special tools, chemicals, things like that, you can find those things on our website by clicking the link in the description below. With that being said, you're gonna save a lot of money by doing this job yourself. So right here, we've got a breakdown of what a dealership would normally charge and how much you'd be saving. So again, you're gonna save a lot of money doing it yourself. Let's get into the process. Now with these forks right here, these things are beat up. They came off an endurocross bike. There's a lot of scratches on them. So odds are these are in worse condition than anything you're going to be working on, but we are going to be getting these back to working order. You want to start out with a clean fork, and then we've already removed the lower fork guard. So now we need to record some settings. So we're going to count the clickers for compression and rebound. We're going to turn those all the way clockwise until they lightly seat. Write down the clicks, and then you want to back those out all the way. We also have a preload adjuster on top. When you count the clicks on this, you always want to go counterclockwise. Once you have those settings written down, I'm going to remove this bleed screw from the top, and then I'm going to bring the fork tube over to the soft jaws in the vise. I'm going to clamp the outer tube and loosen up the fork cap. And then from here, we want to dump the fork oil. And it's not a bad idea to let the fork hang upside down in the soft jaws for a few minutes and let all of that oil drain out. After that, you want to clamp the lower axle holder into your soft jaws, and I'm gonna thread the outer tube back into the fork cap. We can take a 19mm socket and loosen up that center bolt. Then we're gonna use our damping rod holding tool. We're gonna press down on that fork cap. You wanna expose the damping rod past that jam nut and install that holding tool. Then we're gonna use a 17mm wrench and our 19mm socket to remove that center bolt. Then I've got a pick to help me remove that push rod. Then we can remove the holding tool. We're gonna unthread the outer tube from the fork cap, pull out the inner cartridge, and then we're gonna be able to pull the spring out as well. And pay attention, these springs, they will have preload adjusters on them. That's this plastic piece right here. Next, I'm gonna slide the seal holder removing tool onto the outer tube. We're gonna clamp that into our soft jaws. Sometimes you can loosen these seal holders by hand, but most of the time you're gonna wanna use that special tool. I've also seen people use strap wrenches on these. Now this one, it's pretty stubborn. It's not wanting to come loose. So sometimes these will have some thread locker on them. We're gonna heat that up with our heat gun. I'm gonna hit this wrench with the dead blow hammer. That's gonna break it free. Then with that broken free, we can clamp that lower axle holder back into the soft jaws. We're gonna unthread the seal holder all the way, slide the outer tube out. Then we have these bushings. So this inner bushing up top, I'm gonna spread it apart with my thumbs and remove it. Then we have that outer bushing, and I'm gonna use a flat blade screwdriver to pop this dust seal off. I've got a clip pick tool to remove that retaining clip. I'm gonna pull off that seal holder, the clip, the dust seal, and then we have this rubber ring. We're gonna pull that off as well. And then we can remove that inner tube from the vise. So with this, we're gonna take the outer and screw the seal holder back onto it. Then I'm gonna use a rag and a tire spoon to pop that seal out. And just be careful to not scratch anything while you do that. Then we can remove that from the vise, and we're gonna start cleaning everything up. So the first thing with that is to check your slider or that inner fork tube. You wanna check for any pitting, any scratch marks or dents. With dents, you're gonna have to replace the tube. If you do see any minor scratch marks or pitting, you can clean those up with a fine file, some 600 grit sandpaper, or even some maroon Scotch-Brite. And this fork is worse than I would like to see, but again, this came off of an endurocross bike. Something like this is probably gonna happen again. And then from here, we can go ahead and clean up the rest of our parts. We're gonna be using some contact cleaner. You could also use suspension clean, pretty much anything that's gonna be safe on rubber parts. We're gonna take our time and make sure everything is nice and spruced up. Now that everything is cleaned up, I'm gonna make a few more inspections. So with your bushings, you wanna inspect the Teflon coating. And if you see a copper surface worn through, that means you need to replace these. On this inner bushing, it's gonna be the outer surface. Outer bushing, it's gonna be the inner surface that you're looking at. After that, we're gonna take a look at some O-rings. So we've got one down in the seal holder. Make sure that's in good condition. You've got a crush washer and O-ring on the center bolt and one on that bleeder. Now for assembly, we're gonna start out by using our seal bullet. This is gonna protect our seal from getting cut on these sharp edges. Then we're gonna apply some fork oil to the bullet and the tube. Then I'm gonna install this depth ring first. Slide that all the way down. Then we have the dust seal, and that spring is gonna be facing the bottom of the fork. After that, we have our retaining clip. And then for the oil seal, the open side is gonna be facing up. That is also gonna have a double lip on that side. The single lip will be facing down. Reinstall the seal holder spring clip. After that, apply a little bit of grease or oil to the O-ring in that seal holder. We're gonna slide that down into place. Remove the seal bullet, lube up the outer bushing and slide it on, followed by that inner bushing. Slide the outer tube on. I'm gonna use my fork seal driver. We're gonna use the back end, and you wanna drive the outer bushing into the outer tube. After that, I'm gonna screw the seal holder on by hand, and I'm gonna use the seal driver, and you can use it as a slide hammer if you need to, or you can simply press these two pieces together. So you wanna make sure that seal is pushed all the way down so the groove for that retaining clip is fully exposed. After that, install the retaining clip and make sure it is fully seated. And then we can press down on this outer tube and pop the dust seal into place. Next, I'm going to remove the fork assembly from the vise. I'm going to slide my seal holding tool over that outer tube, clamp it back in the vise. And then again, some people tighten these by hand, but I highly recommend using one of these tools. If you do want to torque this down, the spec is 18.4 foot-pounds. Now, if you don't want to have to figure out a corrected torque reading, what you want to do is put the torque wrench 90 degrees to the normal wrench. You can use the normal torque spec and get that tightened down. Next, we need to make sure that there is no air inside the system. To check that, we're going to press in on the damping rod and make sure it extends all the way on its own. If it doesn't, that's going to indicate that there is air inside the system, and that's when you'd be replacing those seals. Ours looks just fine, so we're going to be replacing the fluid, but if you need to replace those seals, or if you want more information about the cones or the springs inside, be sure to check out the internal cartridge video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Next, we'll clamp the cartridge into our soft jaws. Be very careful and do not over tighten the vise. Then we're going to use our 35mm preload adjusting tool to hold this still while we loosen the cap with the 3-prong tool. Then press up on the damping rod to help remove that base valve assembly. Once you have that out, go ahead and dump out all the fluid. You'll want to pump the rod a few different times to help all that fluid drain out. If your oil is looking really nasty, you can fill this back up with some fresh oil, bleed it up for a minute, and when you drain it again, that will help remove more of that nasty fluid. Next, we're going to lightly clamp the cartridge in the vise, and we're going to slowly pour out 185 milliliters of fork oil. And I'm going to pump the damping rod up and down slowly. That's going to help bleed all of the air from the system. You want to do this at least 10 times or until you don't hear any more air bubbles. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes and let any more bubbles work to the top. And then we can take the base valve assembly. I'm going to apply some fork fluid to the O-rings and that piston ring. I'm going to push the damping rod all the way up. That's going to help us while we install this. And then I have the 3-prong tool in the top. And now we can press this down into place. That damping rod should push out. And we're going to thread this on. And then I'm going to use the 35mm holding tool and the 3-prong tool. And we're going to tighten this down. Once I've done that, I'm going to do the final bleeding on the cartridge. So we're going to pump this up and down a few more times. You want to have the jam nut threaded all the way on and up until it stops. And then I can pump it all the way down, and that's going to bleed off any excess oil inside the cartridge. And on ours, we heard just a little bit of oil come out. You want to hear that. You can see it's just a few drops, but if no oil comes out at all, it means you probably didn't have enough in there to begin with, and you're going to have to redo the process. The final check for that is to push in on the damping rod. If it extends all the way on its own, you've got the air out of the system and you're good to go. But if the damping rod doesn't extend all the way and you can pull it further out, that means there's still air in the system and you want to redo those steps. We're going to install the spring with that preload spacer. Slide the spring guide back onto the cartridge. Then the cartridge assembly. And then we're going to thread the outer tube onto the cartridge. We're going to press down on that until the damping rod jam nut is all the way exposed. We're going to use that cartridge holding tool. Lube up this rod with some fork oil. And then on the center bolt, you want to thread this on until it fully bottoms out onto the damping rod. You should have some thread in between the center bolt and the jam nut. From there, you can go ahead and tighten those two together. Then we're going to torque this. The spec is 18.4 foot-pounds. After that, make sure you have some lube on that O-ring. We're going to remove that holding tool. And then we can torque the center bolt to 18.4 foot-pounds. And then we need to add some oil to this outer chamber. So there is a range, and you do want to refer to any information that came with your forks. You could be anywhere from 270 milliliters all the way up to 480. So it's a pretty big range. On these forks right here, we are going to be adding 320 milliliters. Once we've done that, we can go ahead, lube up that O-ring on the cartridge, and we're gonna tighten down the cap. From here, you wanna return the clickers to their original settings along with that preload adjuster. And if you pulled out the bleeder bolt like us, make sure you get that reinstalled. Rebuilding the other fork is gonna be the same process. Now, if you need any parts or tools for your forks, the WP Pro Components cone valve forks, head on over to our website. We've got the parts, the special tools, orders over $75 ship free. If you have questions, leave those down in the comments. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.